is Sibro94, and today I finally have my own version of Duskmane Necrozma Magnezone deck, the metal deck that came out in Ultra Prism. I finally managed to get all the cards, build the deck, play around with the deck, and I've got the deck profile to show it. So this deck isn't anything we haven't seen before, abusing the Rain Dance concept, which basically means you bring out a Pokemon like this Magnezone that has an ability or power as it was back in the day that you can attach as many energies of a certain type per turn. You break the rules, attach as many as you want. So in this case, it's going to be metal with Magnezone. We also get the lightning one that basically does the same thing. It's going to replace the breakthrough lightning one, but this is metal. So it's good that this Pokemon is also actually a decent little attacker Pokemon with 150 HP. It might be able to survive a hit. Of course, it's the standard nowadays anyway. And with Zap Cannon, you do 130 for 4. It's not that bad. You can't use a Zap Cannon next turn, but it's a decent attack that's going to do a good chunk of damage. Will likely be able to two-hit knock out any Pokemon. It's got 2 retreat costs, which is 1 less than the other Magnezone. And that is good and bad, because if it gets stuck there and we have to use energies, it means you have to sacrifice 1 less. That's very good. 2 is much better than 3. But at the same time, this way we can't search it with Heavy Ball. And there isn't any card that lets us instantly search this guy that is just a straight ball. That's not Ultra Ball with a cost. So I had to do things a little bit differently with this one. But it is what we have to work with. You got the Psychic Resistance and the Fire Weakness too. Now the big thing that makes this deck really what it is and why it's so superior to Raybor and Blastoise is this guy. There's a lot of other stuff, but the main thing is this guy. Duskmane Necrozma with a 190 HP is much bigger than Kyurem EX used to be, Rayquaza, and it even has some more shit going for it. You can attack with Claw Slash, so you have a regular attack to fall back on. You don't normally use this attack, but sometimes when you have to, you've got a normal attack, and you have the option of a GX attack too, Sun Eclipse. If you're losing, if you're behind in prizes, and you don't have the 4th energy, or you want to do more than 220 damage with 250 Sun Eclipse, it's going to get the job done, kill anything. We probably don't want to use this because we want to use the GX attack of another Pokemon, but it is there. It's very useful. But the best thing, of course, is Meteor Impact. This is what makes this card so good. With 4 energy, you discard 3, it does 220. Now, Rayquaza can do more, can do 240 and go even over that, but you need to discard more energy. For 3, that guy was going to do 180. This guy, for discarding 3, you do 220. And that is just right to knock out a lot of the popular Stage 1 GX Pokemon with 220, 210, 200 HP, and what have you. And this is before add-ons, so you know he's pretty good. This is like the best version of those kinds of decks because of all the stuff that they get. And one of them is this guy. A very powerful Pokemon. It's the main guy we want to take advantage of. Now the other dude that helps this deck a lot is Dialga GX though. So there's the metal one that came out in Forbidden Light as well, but I actually like that better art-wise, but maybe as a tech, you might want to go with this one because it's Dragon. Give you a little bit of varying weakness because this guy's going to be to Fairy instead of Fire. And maybe that doesn't matter, and maybe that's even worse against Gardevoir GX, but I have the Dragon one anyway, and I think the Dragon one, just for a little bit of variety, is better. It's got 2 solid attacks and 1 broken ass attack. So with Overclock, this guy's great if you open with him and you thin your hand. You can use Overclock, draw until you have 6 cards in your deck. Perfect. Help you set up. This deck is all about setting up, getting your Magnezone out quickly, getting your energies, getting all your stuff in play, and then knocking Pokemon in one hit. And then we got Shred. For a 3 energy attack, you do 80. That's much weaker than actually Rayquaza Shred from Dragon Vault all those years ago. So that's kind of shit, but you know, it is what it is. It's DC compatible, I guess. It doesn't matter in our case. But 80 for 3 without the With the Shred effect, it won't be affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. It's always a nice effect to have. It gives us a nice little special attack we can use. And the broken thing and the main reason we run this Pokemon is Timeless GX. I aim to use the GX attack of this guy in this deck if I can, because I know it's broken. It basically wins you the game if you use it right, and even if you use it wrong, like maybe you just use it for the sake of using it, even if you misplay, it won't be that big of a misplay because it's just so broken. You get a free turn, man. You can only do this once, of course. 5 energy is a lot, but if we do this, basically Dialga GX can knock out healthy Stage 2 GX Pokemon without discarding energy and shit. We use Timeless GX, it's going to be severely injured. Then we play again, we do a bunch of shit, and then we use Shred, finish it off. Or maybe even retreat and attack with somebody else. But skipping your opponent's turn is just broken. So this is why this guy's in here. Maybe I would run him at 2, but for now he's at 1. And for the other attackers, naturally you gotta have your Solgaleo. Only one of this guy because it's a Prism card, but this is the obvious Prism card you want to run. 160 HP basic Pokemon, he's perfect. Corona Impact, 160 for 4, very, very good. Now the you can attack next turn shit can't be annoying in this deck. I don't have like a billion float stones and switches, and we don't run Downwings Necrozma, but it's a good basic Pokemon. Radiant Star is also useful, another method to grab us energies. Great Pokemon all around. And the other dude is Heatran. Originally, I wasn't running this card. I was running like an extra nest ball or some shit. But I realized I really just want an extra basic Pokemon. I want to have 11. That's what I usually have in my other decks. Other similar decks anyway. And I want a meaty kind of big legendary Pokemon like this with a lot of HP, 130, that might sit there as a wall when I'm setting up. And it can do some solid attacks as well. Guard press, not that amazing, gonna do 30 for 2, and we get 30 less. But boiling impact, 130 for 3, and we discard 2 energy, kind of standard. Not bad. I like the fire Heatran better. That does the same shit, a bit light, but it's gonna be fine in this metal deck. Basic Pokemon. And the other two guys are just standard shit. I gotta have my Mime, as you guys know, and Tapu Lele for consistency. Very, very good. And as you guys have noticed, for the Magnezone line, I'm actually using the Lightning ones. And there's a reason for this. This guy's ability, Sparkling Induction, is great. It's going to give me free retreat on him if I have a bunch of Magnemites, switch him around, doing shit. So it's really good. I'd rather like it. The other ones, like the metal one that gets protected on the bench, can't get damage while he's on the bench. And the other one that lets you grab energies with his attack, they're not bad. But I like this one. For as long as we have it, I'm going to use it. And then the Magneton, I also use the Lightning one because it has the lowest retreat cost, really. I wish I could attack, run the metal one, but once again, with that retreat, I'd rather have one retreat. Sometimes you might bring this guy out when something gets knocked out and you're trying to do your shit, get ready. So having one retreat is better. So that's basically it. Okay. Now for the Trainer Skeleton, a lot of shit this deck gets. I gotta have my energy cards, the Professor's Letter, 2 of them, grab your energies. 2 Nest Ball, grab us the basic Pokemon. And we actually need to run 2 Ultra Ball. One for Tapu Lele and another one, I guess just to grab something like Magnezone. I can't run Heavy Ball, and I did run Timer Ball. I didn't have any problems with it, but I realized that if I miss it in a situation, then you basically lose, because when you want to get your Magnezone out, you want to get your Magnezone out. You don't want to leave it up to a chance. So I can't run Timer Ball. It's just is risky. So another Ultra Ball is the best alternative, and you know, it's not that bad. Ultra Ball is just good, even if we discard cards. It means I have another sort of Tapu Lele. Can become another Tapu Lele supporter, and basically that's it. Ultra Ball. Gotta run our 4 candies, of course. Bring the guy out quick, and let's see. As you guys can see, I'm running 2 random receivers. Normally I don't run this card, but this deck, if you compare it with skeletons of my Ray Boar and yeah, Ray Boar, Shiny Ray Zone, Magnezone, those kind of decks. You'll see that they're very similar because I believe in these skeletons. Now the difference is though in Expanded, this deck is more consistent because we have cards like Computer Search, Trainer's Mail. A deck like this really misses those cards, and I'm running enough supporters as you guys can see. We just want a bunch of useful trainers. This is what we want, and we don't have them. VS Seeker, I can't run. Trainer's Mail is very useful, and Computer Search, of course, no brainer. And there's not really much else that we had right now that I found out I could run. There's the pad thing that you basically flip a coin and it becomes a Skyla as a trainer that came in Ultra Prism 2. I don't remember the name, but a little computer pad thing. But that's also kind of a risky thing to do, flipping a coin. So random receiver is just the closest thing I could find. Grab as a supporter. It becomes another supporter kind of thing. And maybe sometimes I have a supporter and I'm just going to use this so that I hopefully see something like Fisherman, maybe that I want, or what have you. Yeah. As for the other trainers, they're pretty standard. We got the 2 Field Blower. You got to have this against Garbodor and to remove items. Got the 1 Stretcher. I don't believe it is necessary to run Super Rod in this deck because the great thing about this deck is that we only need metal energies to work. We don't need fire and lightning like Rayquaza. So I don't really have to worry about energies. If I'm going to recycle energies, Super Rod in this case wasn't really going to do much. If we need to shuffle in Pokemon, we're going to shuffle 3 Pokemon from the discard pile, and we don't need to shuffle energies. I have other ways to shuffle energies, as you guys are going to see, that are going to be, well, you guys are already seeing energy retrieval, but I want to talk about these cards in a little bit. But yeah, Stretcher, and you got to have the 1 Switch and 1 Floatstone. I have considered running maybe like Dunwing's Necrozma, get that free retreat around the board shit, but I don't think it's that necessary. Sometimes it can help, but I'm wasting valuable space. And the last sort of item is tool, Fighting Fury Belt. You don't really necessarily need to run a tool in this deck, but since I don't have things like Computer Search, VS Seekers and shit, I have a little bit of extra space. Like I said, I have enough supporters, more than I usually run anyway in this kind of a deck. Maybe. So I decided, hey, let's put 1 tool that can help. And the best thing is this Fury Belt for as long as we have it. Duskmane Necrozma doesn't need all that extra damage. With the Choice Band, yeah, you can kill even stage 2 GXs. That can help. But we do have Sun Eclipse, and I have other methods too. 2-hit attacks with Heatran, maybe this guy. So the Fury Belt gives me a little bit of extra HP, and I really dig that, making this guy tank more since it has 190. It can be kind of hard to take down. Works great on these guys, and the Fury Belt is going to do 10 damage to everybody. So Fury Belt is the way to go. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the supporters first, and then I'm going to talk about the last thing that I think is important. Okay, so for supporters, we run the 3 Cynthias and 2 N. A lot of these shuffle and draw. Nice, nice. And 3 Sycamore, kind of standard. I have considered 4, as always, but 3 is the right number. And 2 Scala, of course, you gotta have it. So that's like, what, 5, 8, 10, and 11, I believe, with the Fisherman, if my maths is right. You know, with 2 random receivers too, we should be good on the supporters. And energies is 11, I believe in this number. It wouldn't be bad to run 12, maybe, but it means we're losing a valuable trainer card, either something that gives us flexibility like Switch, or a consistency card, and that kind of sucks. If this deck was ultra consistent, I wouldn't mind running more, but 11 I think is the right number. I've always believed that after years of testing. Okay, so now the important part. As you guys can see, I've mentioned Fisherman, only 1. This guy's great. It's going to be the way to recycle energies and shit in a supporter form. We can grab this with Random Receiver too, which is great, and Tap Ulele, which is a nice flexibility that I like. Now the last part is retrieving energies without these guys, and our methods of course are going to be Mount Coronet and energy retrieval. Now you guys have noticed I'm only running 2 Mount Coronet, and it's not only because I have 2, uh, is because it's a stadium, and it's great. It's a great card, but a lot of the times, just like with Nest Ball and Level Ball that I explained in my Ray Eels video, you want to play those cards together kind of thing, or you want to be flexible. That's not a great example. But if I have, like, let's say 3 or 4 Mount Coronet and I need 4 energies, I can only play 1 Mount Coronet, get the effect once, and that's it. I can't play Energy Retrieval and Mount Coronet in the same turn, or 2 Mount Coronets in the same turn. But Energy Retrieval, we can play this as many times. If we have a bunch, it's going to get the job done. And the same goes with Mount Coronet together. So that's why I feel it's not a great idea to just disregard Energy Retrieval and just play 4 or 3 of these. Maybe 3 isn't that bad, because maybe you can afford to discard 1, or maybe if your opponent plays a lot of Stadium, you're going to counter them and shit. But you don't want to play this card just to fucking play it because it's a stadium and you're thinking, okay, it's going to stay around there and I can grab metal energies forever. You want to use it like energy retrieval, in my opinion. Play it down when you know you're going to use it, grab the energies, and make a significant attack. You don't want to play it down, not use the effect, or just use it to grab 1 energy and then lose it. Now, if this stays, of course, then you can get the plus every turn, and you don't have to worry about running out of energies that much. That's why with only 3 energy retrieval, I don't run 4. Normally I would run 4 energy retrieval and 1 fisherman, but we run 3, 1 fisherman, and 2 of these stadiums, and without super rod, I still feel I'm okay with the energies. But you don't want to over rely on it, and you don't want to run too many so that you play it down and then the other ones are dead. You can't use them multiple times per turn, and that is very important. So I think 2 is the right number. I'm treating this kind of like an energy retrieval, and with the idea that, okay, if it stays, that's more plus for me. But I'm still treating it like an energy retrieval in the sense that you should think of the worst case scenario, that you're only going to get the effect once. Okay, so I hope this was a good enough explanation. Maybe I fucked it up a little bit. But yeah, this deck isn't really that bad. I feel people, if they know how to build it, it can be pretty good. We are missing a few things, and Expanded is much better. And there's so many ways you can build with this guy. You can use Metagross. I plan to use that too if I get Metagross chicks, because I've been trying to get them for so long. And in Expanded, you can use Bronzong, make it like Ray Eels, even better. Very, very powerful. And let's see. Yeah, it's one of the decks that I feel like it might be able to compete with Malamar and Ultra Necrozma GX, because they aim to get their Malamars out, get 1-hit knockouts. You aim to get your Magnezone, get 1-hit knockouts. Now, Ultra Necrozma GX is much stronger than this guy, of course, since it can do more damage. But all the billions of extra damage it does doesn't really matter when you just want to get a specific knockout. This guy can kill him in 1 hit too, and it works out. The psychic resistance on the other psychic Pokemon too that your opponent might be running also helps. So it's not really that bad. You know, it's basically a race. They need to get a bunch of Malamars out. You only need to get 1 Magnezone out at least. So if you get him out, you might have the advantage. It's a race who kills who first then. Now, of course, in Expanded, the Malamar version is probably superior than the Bronzong version to this, but you have a lot of options, and this is a very good deck. It's the most broken version of Raybor, Blastoise kind of deck, that these energy acceleration decks that we have. So don't think I have anything else to say. I think I have more, but I forgot as I'm making this video. This deck is very powerful, has a lot of shit that the other decks wish they had, like for example Mount Coronet, the Stadium, pretty good. Other sort of options, the ability to work on only 1 energy. You don't have to worry about running 2 types of energy like with Rayquaza. And you have a lot of options. You got this guy, you got a bunch of other Pokemon too, you got other great Pokemon in Expanded. It's just great, very good deck. So I'm going to post game, of course, show you that this deck is not bad if you know how to use it. So that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends. Say Bro94, what's up?